Hey guys, welcome to techENT. I'm Jeevan,
I'm Darwin.
and this is our new techENT download. And today we're going to be talking about the Galaxy Note 7, Samsung's new explosive phone. They announced that their replacement program will be starting this week actually in South Korea, UK, and Australia.
Well, the markets that has already launched basically.
And
Is that going to be relaunching?
we don't know when the launch is, but they will be trading in, giving you a new device if you have the launch
purchased.
Galaxy Note 7.
Yes.
And mind you, in Malaysia, there is a very, very limited number of you guys that have the Galaxy Note 7. So, if you really have a Galaxy Note 7, please return it.
like
we
right
don't-
now, like return it right now.
Yeah, return it right now. You get a brand new phone, and it's guaranteed not to blow up in your face.
But what I heard really cool is that a lot of the Malaysian consumers has already returned.
Compared to the US, where 1.3 million units have been sold,
Exactly.
but only about 13,000 have been returned. Now, Malaysian consumers have been quite supportive of Samsung even through this hard time for them, which is really, really good. You have to give it to the Malaysian consumers. Immediately when Samsung announced the recall, they were asking for details on where to return stuff, how do we get the phone back. Thumbs up to the Malaysian consumers. So if you've been under a rock, the Galaxy Note 7 started exploding, like really exploding when people were using it and charging it. And what has happened is that Samsung has actually found out that the batteries in select Note 7s have a defect.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the ones with the defect are their own subsidiaries, SDI's batteries.
Mm-hmm.
So once they found that out, Samsung actually took a very bold step in announcing a recall, which you didn't see when phones like the iPhone 7 or the Motorola Droids, iPhone 7, sorry, iPhone 6.
The iPhone haven't exploded.
The iPhone 6 or the Motorola Droid started exploding.
Yes.
We didn't see companies take ownership of the problem.
What they actually did was basically, I say that those problems are very isolated cases, right?
Mhm.
They don't actually own up to the problem, and they say that, these things happen because, probably there's a charging fault, or isolated phones have manufacturing defect on their batteries and things like that. But at the same time, we don't hear much of it, and that's the thing with with them covering up. We don't actually hear a lot of the reports.
Yeah, we don't know what the exact number is, but
Yes.
Samsung has been quite transparent with this. They've said that out of all the units sold, about 0.1% of them have this defect, which is why they are doing that massive recall.
Yeah, correct. And it's been quite a big issue because a week after the recalls started happening and the explosion reports, airline companies basically
Yeah.
they're banning this phone from actually going into the flight.
Like for me personally, I was on AirAsia just last week coming back from Sabah, and before you even got on, there was a big paper there saying that if you have a Galaxy Note 7, you can't check it in, you can't charge it or use it anywhere near the plane.
That's quite interesting because I was talking to the ground staff, when a friend of mine was checking into the flight. And what I asked was, this phone is totally not allowed in the flight at all, or, is there some way around it? And what they said was, it's not allowed to be turned on in the flight or charged at all.
That didn't stop the FAA from banning the phone all out. So it's still a concern especially on a flight. You don't want things going boom in a place which is so contained and where you're literally centimeters away from somebody else. One more thing that Samsung announced is that the new Galaxy Note 7s will be shipping with certain indicators telling you that These are approved by their standards.
Not going to explode.
Yes, it won't go kaboom.
Bomb proof.
For guys, it's very important that it doesn't go kaboom because you're keeping it in your pocket. Samsung is said to be pushing out an update to make sure that you can't charge your phone above 60%. And this is just for your safety because apparently if you go above 60%, it's going to blow up in your face.
You risk exploding the phone. It might not explode, but it risks that kind of thing.
Exactly, and please listen to the company that made the phone and return it.
But let's talk about how they're handling this whole thing from the beginning.
I think that it was very big of them to actually say that we made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I also think that they probably could have detected it a lot earlier.
Yep.
In their QC before release. And Bloomberg actually agrees with that they were rushing too much to release before the iPhone 7.
Correct. I actually think, in my opinion, it's kind of a nice gesture, for them to actually do this kind of recall, like you see in cars. Basically, and you'll find a lot of case studies in the automotive industry, but at the same time, I think this is kind of a detrimental move to Samsung. Actually, when they actually did the whole recall, their market shares dropped like
it's
not dropped, it's plummeted. The compensation that they got from their own sister company, the SDI, doesn't even begin to cover that loss.
And on top of what they've already lost through loss of shares, it is estimated that what they have to fork out to do this recall is going to cost them another $1 billion.
Exactly.
And that's just an estimate. It's a lot of costs going into a mistake which could have been prevented.
Yeah. They shouldn't have done this. Shouldn't have happened, in consumer products.
True, very true. But we have to give them props for actually owning up to it.
Yeah.
So there you have it. That's what we thought about the Galaxy Note 7 and its explosive past. And we're looking to the future to see how Samsung deals
with the explosive future too.
with the setbacks that they have so far.
And it's gonna blow your mind.
Most probably.
Not your pocket. Blow your mind.
Tell us what you thought in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more from techENT. I'm Jeevan.
I'm Darwin.
And that's the techENT download. Oh, my titties.